Hey guys, pretty slow day here today. Well, not super slow, it's just gonna be picking up bales. I'm hauling wagons home right now. So, got one wagon left to haul, the other one is still on the baler. We have to rebale a couple of them big squares that we first started making. I think there's 3 big squares to rebale. And 188 big squares to pick up. If things really go smooth today, we'll get her all done. And it sounds like they're going to start cutting wheat tomorrow on the farm that we're going to be baling straw off of. So that's really convenient right before we have, about 3 days of 1/4 inch of rain each day. So what I'm really hoping, we get caught up here tonight on all this, and then I can hop right in there and start small square baling right behind the combine. At least get that much going, because the big squares aren't as big a deal, I guess, as far as the quality. Not that straw quality matters, but with second cut coming up fast, I really want to try to knock out as much as we can of straw. And my goal, if we didn't have any rain, would be about maybe 4 days to do all of the straw, maybe even 3. Depends how much help we have, how well small square baling goes, because I figured the amount of acres of straw we were going to plan on big square baling is about 2 days of baling for me. And the small squares, I figure about 3 days of baling. So if we can kind of overlap that and make it a 3 to 4 day thing, that would be ideal. Maybe 5 days when you count all the picking up the bales, but all in all, I'd really like to knock it out as quickly as we possibly can, because I mentioned to get in and start some second cut. So we'll see. Let's go get these wagons hauled home. I feel like we're making good time with how things are going. We already got the 2 loads hauled home. All you got left is that tractor and baler and the wagon on it, and then you can see that junky bale kind of out there. There's another one, maybe 2, or definitely 2, maybe 3. I got 60, if not 61 bales to pick up, and 2 or 3 to rebale. Barely 11 o'clock and already starting to load up bales. This field's for sure easy thing to get knocked out today. It's just, I don't know if we'll get through the next field all today or not, but with straw coming tomorrow, I think I might push to try to make sure we get it done, because the last thing I want is to get tied up and set back if we had the opportunity to get things done. So I'm going to push a little bit here today and try to knock out everything, but we'll see how things go. So that's what they look like when there's no tension on the chamber. When you forget to turn that on, it definitely helps. Look how nice this bale is compared to that. Really nice hay in it. We're going to rebale it with the small square. Oh geez. But what I'm doing is I'm stacking 2, and then I'm spearing into the bottom and putting it onto the truck. Truck is loaded. We're gonna cut this bale. I don't know if that one needs cut. I think that one's decent, but it might need that one, and then this one. They're too loose. I am not taking a chance on these falling apart. And man, look at all that leaf. Holy cow, guys, look at that. Just wish it didn't have all this crap in it. Oh boy. Maybe this isn't gonna work. I need to spread this out. This has got that really wet crap at the beginning of the bale. There. Maybe we can get it down. The first slab was kind of wet junk, is the biggest issue. This has got I need to retension the pickup belt on this baler, so that's not helping us. Well, we got 2 rebaled so far. I need to tension the belt on the pickup, that's for sure. It wants to kind of clog up a little bit there, but it'll clear, but I'm sure that's not good slipping that belt. We'll see if this 3rd one needs rebaled or not. Otherwise, we're done. Park this, get this ready to go home, fill up the wagons. 2 wagons my wife brought out, and I don't know what we'll do, if I'll have her take home the truck with the gooseneck and I bring home this so it's home, or if we both just keep hauling big squares and have my dad bring this home after work. I don't know what we want to do, but I might end up just keep hauling big squares, and that'd be the plan. we're getting the field cleaned up. There ain't a whole lot left out here. I'm not sure exactly how much weight these V6 1500s are rated for, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume it's not this much. 24 big squares times whatever they weigh, at least 800 pounds, maybe 900. Typically we load them like this. We'll have to push on the back wagon with the loader to just get it rolling, and then it should be okay. It's just getting it rolling in the field can be tough. I would hope on asphalt it would be all right. Well, it's all loaded. We're getting it strapped down now. I don't know if I'll take home that truck or this one. I kind of want to do this one just to see how it holds, but we'll see. See that, guys? We barely spun out at all. Uh-oh, I better get some more gas on it. It's starting to spin again. Going 4 miles an hour. Oh gosh. Hopefully make it home. Tires are old. Put up the trans temp and just keep an eye on that. I don't know what normal operating temperature is, but I assume if it gets over your coolant temp, which this always gets right to 210 really quickly and never goes over. Never had this truck overheat. Not saying we will or we won't, but at least we'll run the trans temp and see if there's anything to be concerned about with that. But at least that tractor's ready to go home. We have some bales to pick up, small squares yet, and then I think I counted right 9 big squares yet to go. Barn's really coming along. Running 210 degrees in the transmission, 210 on the coolant. I'm not sure if it'll continue to climb or not, but it took a while to get to that point, and we're this close, so I'm not stopping and pulling over a half mile out from home to cool down. 10 to 15 mile an hour is all the faster we're going. Seems like that back one wants to start, the tail starts wanting to wag the dog a little bit there, so take it easy and get it back in one piece and wrap that field, the 53 acres up real quick, and then hop into that next 40 acre field. Well, first load in. Oh boy. We already put a hole in the metal, so that's really cool. So new strategy here. What we're gonna do is just keep doing a row like this going this way so we can push against it. And then when we want to stack this, we can push against it again, and we can maybe come out another row, but I might wait there right at the door. I might still put another row there. I don't know. I might leave that one, but that's what we're gonna do so we don't put any more holes in the metal. The spears are too long. I knew they stuck out, but I figured the 10 inches between the metal and the footer, because we won't be going past that. I thought it was enough, but it wasn't. It's 4:30 and the first field is done. A lot later than I was hoping. A few issues, figuring things out. I'm so stressed out right now with this time of year. There's so much to do, and it always feels like you're running behind. Well, this field may not have had the most tonnage, but it sure is smooth. I'm running across it right now at like 15 mile an hour. Gonna get up to the road here and then take off. We got about 4 miles, I think, give or take, to the next field, and we'll start loading up there. 128 there. There's only 59 here. So I reset the bale counter after I'd been baling for a little bit. I thought I had 10 good bales out and 3 to rebale. I must have counted one twice or something. So instead of the 60, I thought it's only 59. But yeah, yield's not very good on this field. We're gonna see what we can do about that here. Put some foliars down, some other stuff, probably go talk to the elevator and see what their recommendation be, and try to push this into some better production. But first cut this year is down across the board on everything. New seedings were no different, and new seedings are usually a lower tonnage first cut anyhow. So hopefully it stacks right up there with some of the others once we get in the second cut, and we'll see. I just love how smooth this field is. I really hope we can keep this for a few years and get it up to snuff. Here we are, folks. Next field. Looks like a lot of hay out here. Let's get it started on it. I'm just hoping to get a good chunk of this knocked out and take a lot of pressure off, weight off my shoulders, because I just need to slow down and calm down a little, I guess. But when there's a lot that needs done and you have big goals of where you'd like to be eventually, and taking on as much hay as what we're doing is the only way to get the cash flow we need to make things happen that I want to happen, so we can have a really easy, comfortable life in 10 years. Not saying I want to run this hard for 10 years, but yeah, it all builds to it. Yep. Let's see where she's at. But yeah, all these little things, they just kind of add up to be where you need to get, you know. So I guess I was talking to a buddy of mine who does some hay, and he's also supplies where he sells hay, goes down to the Carolinas and whatnot. Kind of very similar. I mean, he's from a generational farm. Not trying to bash on it or nothing. He's had some opportunities I haven't, but in a lot of ways, just like me, he's built his hay operation. That's not his dad's, and his own from scratch. He's got a pretty impressive outfit, and really great guy to talk to and whatnot. It's nice having people in a similar boat. So like when something goes wrong, you know, like the big square baler, that was like $2,100 to fix that. It's not necessarily, oh shoot, that's gonna tighten the budget up and now we might not make the mortgage and the bank's gonna take the farm. It's nothing like that. It's not the stress of paycheck to paycheck. You know, I feel for those people who are that way. I mean, I've never been anything like that. I've always been a saver and lived well beneath my means. Shoot, even to this day, I make more money than I've ever made, and I still second guess spending an extra $2 or $3 at the grocery store on name brand stuff. You know, like I like those Nutty Bars. I think Hostess makes them or something, but I'm buying the great value ones. They taste the same, and I don't even buy those too often. It's like, well, do I need to really spend that $3, or I could probably get by for another week without something like that. I do, but so when something like that $2,000 thing comes up, it's not like oh shoot, this is gonna sink or swim the farm, but it's more so the big thing on it is I have these goals, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different things. Like here's my objectives for stuff I'd like to upgrade this winter, and I have a budget already in mind based off of what I think production's going to be this year. And something like that happens and it sets you back. It's like, all right, well, I guess that doesn't necessarily happen the way I was hoping. Maybe we can go a little cheaper or something on this thing, or maybe we can go a little bit longer without, right? And I don't know exactly what this winter's going to look like. I have an idea in my mind what I'd like to do, but it's really going to change based on what's available to buy this winter. You never know what opportunities there are and good deals, whether it be auctions or private sale. And then the biggest thing that's going to change is how the rest of this summer goes and what ticks me off the most and biggest bottlenecks. So typically that's what I do is I spend my winter months just refiguring remaining inventory and winter cash flow. Okay, so what can we buy, right? Like what is our budget? And then we think back to how this last summer went. Like, all right, here's our biggest bottlenecks. Here's the things that cost us the most time or the most quality on hay. How can we resolve that and continue to increase how much hay we can put up in a year and also possibly increase the quality? So there's a couple things, right? Like the tedder may not help us make, well, in some ways it might make us help make more hay because you might have times where there's no way you're getting hay dry in a smaller window. But now the tedder allows you to start earlier in the year, possibly go later in the year, or find opportunities where otherwise you wouldn't have gotten hay dry, you had to wait. And then when that window hits, you just don't have enough time to get all the hay baled that you need to, so you just can't add on more acres. So the tedder will help us grow a little bit, so there's that. And then you also have the quality aspect. If used right, the tedder can help make higher quality hay. So those are always the objectives, is how much can we get done and how nice a product can we get while also trying to scale. So those are the two big objectives we're always trying to chase. And so I think the thing is, every winter we go and we look at things and what were the two biggest hurdles that kept us from reaching those objectives. Just tentatively where we're at on the farm this year, two biggest hurdles. I think quality's been a pretty good thing. I don't think our equipment's keeping us from getting quality done in the sense that, like, we don't have a good crimp or we don't have a good mow or the rake's not breaking it good and we're getting, you know, issues with that. It's none of that. It's all more so the equipment might keep us from making quality hay because we can't get enough baled in a day or something like that. And now it's a day later and you have more bleaching. And I don't think we really lost too much quality on any of this. I'd say the biggest hurdles we're looking at this year is more of an efficiency standpoint, and hauling's the number one thing that's in the back of my mind. We got one gooseneck and 2 flat racks. It doesn't get a lot done in a day. When you only go 10 to 15 mile an hour with the flat racks, the gooseneck's only going to be able to haul like 20,000 pounds of hay, whatever you want to call it, 26, 28 big square bales. That's all we're putting on it, and it's still a fair amount. And don't get me wrong, you can move some acres pretty quick with that. But what I'd like to do is maybe be able to have a second similar setup to that truck and gooseneck, or possibly go bigger. I don't want to take a step back and get like a 25-foot gooseneck. I like this 36-footer. So that's definitely not something we're going to pull back on. It's just the Dodge is something I probably should try to get going again, or at least get it sold. I kind of had time to mess with it, but I could get that going, get a gooseneck to throw on that. Another thought is sell the Dodge and start looking at like one thing I've really leaned towards are straight trucks, and then putting a pintle hitch trailer on the back of that, so like a 16 to 24 foot bed and a pintle hitch trailer that's 25 feet long, or going to a semi. I don't know. I kind of like the idea more. In some ways, I'm really convinced I like the straight truck idea, because then that trailer can go on the truck and do some deliveries, or the straight truck can do deliveries in tighter areas but still get a good amount of volume on. But also, the semi has some advantages in some ways. The biggest thing kind of comes down to like insurance and licensing. I think farmers are exempt on a lot of that, but also just things that are in the back of my mind. Not sure we're going to go there. So Holland's number one thing. I don't see that changing a lot before winter. The biggest thing I see now is the bottleneck of small square baling, and how do we do that? And that's something that's up in the air and can get changed and go a multitude of different directions. I talked about that in a video prior. How do we resolve that and improve that? Those are the two big things. Third, if there's any room in the budget, which if we're going to a bundler, there won't be. But if there is, raking would be the next thing that's probably a bottleneck. I'd say in good conditions I can rake about 15, maybe 17 acres an hour, but realistically 15 is kind of the higher end of that, even in smooth, big square fields. So that's kind of a bottleneck. It sounds like it's a lot of acres in an hour. Don't get me wrong, a 10-hour day is 150 acres. When are you ever going to need to bale more than 150 acres in a day? You'd be absolutely correct in that. The issue is the hay that you raked at the end of that 10-hour day is going to be very dry, and the hay that you raked at the beginning of that day is going to be very wet. So I'd like to be able to get most of my hay raked in about a 6-hour window, if not much over. I really would like to even narrow that down even more. I love my rotor rake, and if the right deal comes across and the bundler isn't in the question and there's money in the budget, I would not be opposed. Not saying I will, but I wouldn't be opposed to looking at possibly grabbing another double rotary and trying 2 rakes, or just doing a wheel rake. But there's some issues with wheel rakes, the quality of windrow and some moisture and roping and some of that stuff. Been around it, you probably know more than I do on it. And I'm not opposed to it. They are cheaper, they're more simpler to run, but the double rotary like we have is just such a versatile tool. 2 of them would allow us to jump up into that 30 acres an hour time frame, and then we can just rake stuff at absolute perfect conditions every time when we have 2 people available to rake. So that would be kind of a thing that would be kind of nice. I don't really have anything else on the docket of what I'm looking at. Just a few upgrades to some things. I guess if you want to call it new stuff or bottlenecks, I like the idea of a dry preservative, whether it be the not silocane, agricane. It's a Akene. It's an agricane product. I forget what the name of it is. It's like a dry inoculant, not really an inoculant preservative, what have you. I think it's like an anaerobic thing. It does something with the bacteria and it pulls moisture. It doesn't really pull moisture out, but it does something with the oxygen and keeps yeast and mold from really breeding and proliferating within the hay. Or maybe it's more of a yeast and mold inhibitors. I don't really understand the exact. It's been a while since I looked into that. There's a couple other brands or companies that make that. But looking at putting something like that on a couple of the balers, whether it be the small square baler and the large square baler, or maybe all 3, might be something I'm looking at. And then moisture meters on the balers. That's another thing that's kind of in the back of my head. It's upgrades to some stuff. Not huge upgrades, but there's still something there that costs money, a few $1,000 to do all that. And upgrades on the truck. Emission codes back on, so getting that deleted wouldn't be bad. The truck's going to need tires and brakes here soon, and in addition to the bed on it, shoot, might as well just drop a flatbed on it. Right there, it's like you start doing the math, man, you can wrap up $8 grand in that really quick. Flatbed may not happen. The deleting, I don't know. I think we might do it. Maybe we'll just get that emission code fixed and move forward, but I don't want to deal with it again, so we'll see what we do there. Otherwise, that's kind of all I got planned. I don't know if we'll do a whole lot more filming today because it's just basically more of what we're looking at here. It's just same old bales around, and it gets pretty old pretty quick. But shooting this field won't take long at all. This section of the field, that is, I guess. So I'll do a quick update probably once we get done for the day. I might leave a load or 2 to do tomorrow. I'll have the morning to get some stuff done, and we'll go from there. Well, I was in the 1-ton hauling the gooseneck. Met my wife on the road on a grabbed in this. She had this loaded for me. So we'll get this unloaded. My dad's taking the white with this square baler home. I hope he takes it to the barns and not my house. I didn't really specify over the phone. I think I said the home. So I hope he's taking it to the barns. So when you get that blown off and greased and ready for straw, because what I thought was going to start tomorrow, well, he's running straw tonight. Well, he did until he broke the bar, or he called it the knife. I don't know. It's whatever your sickle sections bolt to. When I was talking to him, I'm like, broke a knife, like a sickle section, just a couple bolts or whatever to swap in and out. But no, the bar, I guess, broke in half on him. They're gonna get that fixed first thing tomorrow morning. He's got 6 acres, a wheat cut out of 100, maybe 120, I don't know, it's like 100 or 110 acres, I think. He's got 6 acres or so finished up already. I'd like to get there and start baling it. We only got 2 empty wagons, so at most we're looking at probably 300 bale. We could possibly get bale tonight. It's already 6:49. I won't be home till probably close to 7 with these 2 wagons and get them unloaded. I don't have the grease gun. That's in the one time with my wife. I did not do a great job of planning necessarily when we swapped out. I just hopped in here and started driving so I can catch my dad, and we can get this unloaded and get an area prepped for small squares tomorrow of straw. We also got to finish unloading the other 6 loads of hay. I think we got a bunch of kids who can help tomorrow morning, at least 2. I'm hoping 3 or 4 could come. We'll get all that unloaded tomorrow morning, get everything emptied and ready to reload with straw, and if they can stick around all day, we'll just keep loading and reloading and unloading, assuming there's enough straw to bale, because right now there's only maybe, if I had to guess, if it's high yielding stuff like this guy's normally is, and if he cut how he normally cuts height-wise on the wheat, we're looking at 85, I would say on the low end, but probably more like 95 to 100 small squares per acre. So we might be looking at 550 to 600 small squares that could be baled as of right now if the combine doesn't get fixed, which I'm sure he'll have it running tomorrow. But there's rain tomorrow evening, so we have kind of a time frame which we can operate under. Whatever we bale, we got to get hauled home and under roof by like 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. That being said, if we got enough kids and my wife and my dad hauling enough kids that can keep up with the unloading, I can get 2 loaded up tonight. Shoot, if we could start baling by noon and get 4 hours of baling, we might be able to get 800 to 1,000 bales done yet tomorrow, which would be a really good start to my goal of 5,000 or 6,000 small squares of straw. The rest we'll put into big squares or round bales. So we'll see if we can get to the fields tonight. I'm not really dressed for it. I'm just wearing shorts because I don't feel like putting on boots with my thumb finger here. It sucks pulling laces and everything. So like, I can just slip into these shoes quick. I'm just gonna be in the truck and skid through a loader tractor all day. Well, joke's on me. I might be walking through wheat stubble tonight, so I don't feel like changing at this point for only 2 loads. But yeah, that's what's going on. It seems like the plans just keep changing on us. But at first we were really stressed out when he first said he was running. Oh gosh, we really got to hit the field and get after this, because he might have 30 acres, 40 acres laid down before the rain tomorrow. And at least let's get those end rows baled off before the rain, because those will be harder to dry once you drive on them and stuff with the combine. The rest of his stuff should dry out all right without having to be raked. But I don't know. I'm not saying I want his equipment to break, but it's, maybe this one time worked out in our favor. That he had an issue tonight buys us some time, but gives us a little bit we can chew off and dabble into, get the baler set how I want. So worst case scenario, for whatever reason I'm not able to bale, I can send my wife or dad, and at least the density's set and we have everything running right. And I have an idea on how fast to run, so I can tell them what gear to possibly go in. I mean, you run it enough, you'll kind of have an idea, but I like to get a good feel for it and be like, all right, this is kind of your limit. You're not going to be able to push past, say, 4th or 5th gear, or say your strings are burning off, this is kind of light. You need to be running at 7th or 8th gear, going 3 to 4 mile an hour at least. It's every situation's different. And, once you kind of get used to it, maybe you have a feel for it. But my wife's getting there where she kind of understands it. I'm sure my dad can figure it out pretty quick too. So anyhow, let's get these unloaded and see where the night goes after that, I guess. Well, this is going to take a while to fuel up, I'm sure. The fuel gauge don't work on the tractor. I hope I have enough in the tank. Stick in the barn, see what we got cooking here. That's ready to go out to the field once we grease it, but I don't know if we're going to make it tonight. So there's first cut out of one field. Really, really nice stuff, other than the debris and trash in it. Now this is the other field. Kind of had to bury some of that to make room. It's just the first row, and then you're back into that field, but you can just see how much fodder and trash are in it. Like, this isn't as nice a hay, but it's cleaner, so I don't know what's worse. finer stemmed, lots of leaf, better color, but trash, or coarser, less leaf, less color, but clean. Yeah, so I'm not going through the metal anymore. We gotta shorten those spears up on that. But right now, this is what we're gonna do, and then use that as a back brace. Should be able to get quite a few in here. Yeah, I think we only got maybe 3 more loads to go after tonight. And I don't know, I'm not doing the math in my head right now, but we got to finish that stack going on up, get all the wagons unloaded, clean up stuff and get ready. Straw is going to go there is the plan, and then leave us room to backfill this area with second cut, either big squares or small squares, or I get that cleaned up if we have time, which I doubt, and then I'll put small squares there, but that's probably not happening. We're just not using our space efficiently right now. It sucks. I mean, some of it is, like the back clover stack, these big squares, that stuff's going fine. But those shorter stacks that we initially started with that are just a mess, and just we got stuff that needs cleaned up. I don't have any systems in place. I'm just so unprepared because we're fighting so many things, but we're moving in the right direction. Let's check this, see if we got fuel coming still. We do. Just like to check and make sure it's still pumping, or it's not just all fumes and the tanks run out. Sometimes it makes a different noise when it runs out, but if I'm not right next to it, it's hard to catch. So we'll see what happens. At least I got those wagons unloaded. We had 20 on that load. My wife didn't want to load them up too full. I had 24 on the first load with it. So there's about 20,000 pounds of just hay. The old V6 half ton was pulling down the road when I was hauling it, the first load. So didn't seem to bother it one bit. All right, truck's out of fuel now. So I have no idea where the fuel level's at in the tractor without a working fuel gauge, and the way they position that fuel nozzle, that's the tank in the back, and it has like elbows, so you can't see where you're at unless you're pretty much exactly full. Since I can't see the fuel level, I have no idea. So I'm gonna go get more fuel, but before that I wanted to check. We got twine, I just tied all these balls in. Nice to have another one. I'll have to run and get more twine tomorrow. But this will buy me enough time to bale a day. I don't think we'll need to get twine tomorrow, honestly, with the rain tomorrow night. I think we got enough to get through one day of baling. We'll need to get all this blown off. But look at that beautiful, fine, nice looking hay. I wish I ate hay. Some of that stuff's darn good. Been a good baler to us, though. I'm really liking this machine. All right, well, not too bad a price on diesel. It's finally coming back down, better than $4 a gallon, but I sure do miss $2.99. Well, we're not baling straw tonight. I'm gonna pick up some more big squares. We got 3 loads left, and if my math is right, only need 22 bales per load on the first 2, and then the last one will be like 21 or 20 bales. I don't know. It's dark. Seems like the tri-stacks just are simpler to strap rather than trying to do like the back, rather than doing 2 high and 3 wide to make 6 bales per row, if you will. To taper them in sometimes, especially in the dark, I'll just double stack the bales and stack everything 2 high. Get 24 on this load. I don't mind staying up late and running, and it's not super late. It's maybe only like 9:30 or something, sun setting. But I'd rather work late than get up early. My wife's kind of the opposite, so kind of hoping she's up and at it early and she gets another load knocked out in the morning. I'll get this one knocked out here tonight, and we'll have 1 load left tomorrow, and I'll come out with her on that last load. That way we can bring the loader tractor home, grab the rake on the way home from the other field that we dropped the rake in, and everything to the north will be done. First cutting will be finished. We'll have all of our equipment at home for the first time in I don't know how long. This year hasn't been as bad as some years past. I guess since the mower had been sitting in that clover field for like 3 weeks, it's been probably over a month since we've had every piece of equipment at home. And I guess now we're split between my house and now the farm, but the farm's still a half mile down the road, but where we got the barn at and everything. But I mean, years past, there might be 2 or 3 months where we don't have all the equipment back home because it's just sitting in one field waiting for the next, you know, or it's at the next field waiting for the window to be right. You know, as we go through these longer drives, I try to stage things in a way you know, if we got 3 fields to the north, we do the closest one to home first, and then if we can't just roll right into the next one, we'll just leave it at the closest one, and then when the window opens up, we'll go to the next one and just keep working our way further from home, or vice versa, furthest from home and then work your way back. I don't know. But there's been years past where, man, there's several pieces that won't be at the house for weeks on end. And I guess this year hasn't been completely unique to that. But it'll be nice to get everything home just in time to take off with the big square baler and park that in the straw field. And with the rain coming, it'll be there for probably over a week and a half. Last I heard from my wife, none of the kids got back with her, so we're getting kind of ghosted, which I don't really understand. I feel like we paid them well and they were really happy. They seemed like they were enjoying it. I worked with a few of them, and you can tell at times where people get beat down and tired and whatnot, and this didn't seem like that last I worked with them. They had their own radio and stuff, which I don't care as long as the work getting done. I don't care what you want to do, you know. They were good kids, great workers. They seemed to get along real well. They're all friends. It seemed like they were enjoying it. And it's every time they came back to unload, like we started with 2 kids one night, then one of them wasn't able to make it the next night. But I think they got their money and they're like, oh, this is cool. We're making good money. And then they invite a friend, and the next thing you know, we had like 4 people unloading one day. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. It's like, I didn't know we'd have that many kids to come and help. But then all of a sudden now, none of them want to get back with us, because before it seemed like they were all about coming and working. I don't know if we burned them out or what's going on, or I know a couple are busy, but several just aren't getting back with us. So I think small square baling is going to get put on hold because we still have 6 loads of hay on wagons, and I'm no good to unload any of that. The tractor. So we're going to hold off on small square baling anything at the moment. But hopefully when I'm back at it, we'll get them all unloaded and get that started. But yeah, I don't know. I just really want these kids to get back with us so we can get a plan. And I got a lot of straw I want baled. A whole lot. Small square bale, that is. And we have a lot of second cut I want a small square bale. As we get into that 3rd cutting, 4th cutting time frame, if I just have a couple kids, we can probably be sitting all right. But right now we need all hands on deck. And since we ain't got it, we'll probably just big square bale tomorrow. And I'll have my wife stay close at hand with the skid steer and hauling, and we'll try to get everything picked up before the rain and see how much we can get baled. But at least we'll be moving some straw, getting some acres knocked out. That way when the next window opens up, I won't feel as stressed trying to mow down hay and have a ton of straw to bale. If it's just small square baling we'll have left, and we have the big squares, quote unquote, that I need or want, and the remaining acres will just be small squared. It's like, all right, let's mow some hay, get ready to finish or start in on second cut. We won't be completely buried in work up to our necks. We still have a lot of work, but so you just have so much and you always feel like you're behind. I think once we get through the first few fields of second cut, things are going to lighten up for a couple weeks, because this stuff's going to be ready for until about the end of July, early August. So I think we could be done with the first chunk of second cut probably maybe July 15th, July 20th, if the weather holds, maybe sooner. There's a good chance if the weather holds we could be done with it all by July 10th. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see. Then there might be about 15-20 days before we're doing any more second cutting. So we might have a good window there to get caught up on some stuff at home and get some sleep and let our stress levels go down a bit. So let's get some hay loaded, get these lights on. There we go. 24 bales ready to go home. We got 2 loads left out here. It's nice having the tractor lights to get the straps on. All right, I don't know if I'll unload this when I get home or not. I'm tired, but I don't want to put more work on tomorrow. All right, guys, skid steer started. Straps are off. Where's my generator at? What the heck? I want to get these lights on. It was right here. I bet you they moved it. It's probably on the other end of the barn. All right, I'm gonna go grab that quick. All right, you guys want to see something really cool? Check this out. Let's, first I gotta figure out which plug does the lights. I think it's this guy. All right. All right, it's plugged in on that side. It's in the run position. Turn that on. All right. Switch right here. Wow, that is cool. Pretty slick. Get these bales unloaded. I need to get one of these lights out here. It goes up there in the barn on the outside is what I need to get one of those. I think they have solar powered ones even. All right, guys, everything's unloaded. As you can see, we got our back started. I need to move some more stuff. This is gonna have to come out. I think we got 41 bales left. We get another 3 there. That'll take us down to like 37, 38 bales. That's just not enough room because each one of these stacks coming out is about 20. So that'll put us at 23 of 41. So we need to bring this out another, oh, it'll be about 15. Still won't quite be enough, but it's gonna take us all the way to here. And the straw is gonna take us about to the edge of that. So shoot, we're gonna be out of space here before you know it. But that's not all bad. That's first cut. This is gonna take us to about right here. The plan is to do 2 loads of straw per layer and go up, because one layer or 1 load per layer like we have here is roughly like a 1900 bale stack, almost 2000 to do it right. I think we can do 2000 right here in this general area per side, so that'd be about 4000. Maybe we can squeeze 4500 and maybe bring the stack out a hair, or take a load right out of the field up to one of our buyers. It sometimes goes through as much as 300 bale a month at times. I don't know if they're burning through that much right now. Anyhow, that's at least going to give us an outlet for some of it. So maybe we stop around that 5,000 bale mark. Whatever we can fit here, encroach a little bit, that'll be all right. And then we don't need a 30-foot wide drive through the whole barn. Right now I'm keeping it open so we just have that. But the plan is probably once we get that built up, this built up, to start backfilling this area with second cut large squares, bringing it forward. I don't think this stuff will move quick enough for it to matter. This stuff has moved pretty quick. We have sort outs there, a lot to sort through yet. It's just a freaking mess. It really is. I hate how it looks, but we got to sort through it. See right there's a bad bale. That's kind of what happens when your tarp gets holes in it like this. That's no good. It sucks, but it is what it is. So we're gonna keep feeding this stuff pretty quick. Right there you can see a couple bad bales. We're gonna keep feeding this, try to burn this up pretty quick. We got a couple triticale bales there that can get moved out, and then we can free up some room. We got to go somewhere with second cut alfalfa. I mean, I got different options, but the plan is to try to clean this out, and then somewhere around there, maybe in this general area, to do second cut alfalfa going up, if we can't get this cleaned out in time, because we only have a few things that need moved over here. But let's shut this generator down and see how dark it gets. Thanks for watching, folks.